Hola, Madrid. This is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. You know the drill. If you're new here, smash the like and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3K. Yeah, brilliant performance from the boys. Couldn't be happier, especially regarding some of the performances by our so-called senior players, especially with regards to experience and their tenure with us. And yeah, they stepped up. Um, Girona came in with a few of their own problems, especially with Blend missing and Dobic coming back from a slight knock and whatnot. Angel Herrera also being out through suspension, but yeah, we took them to the cleaners. Couldn't be any more happier than what I am already. But yeah, big up my esteemed co-host Jacob. Quick thoughts.
Yeah, man, one of the best halves that I've seen. Like usually when we win by a bigger margin, like sometimes we say, man, like we might we got lucky. Maybe the players were playing individually very well, and that's how we actually won. But this time, throughout the park, the midfield, the defense, everyone did quite well, and I'm really happy for the win. Really happy for Vinicius as well. Rodrigo and everyone came into form today, and we just seem to have the number on Girona at the moment.
Mm. Ashik was mentioning earlier in the comments, Ancelotti 7, Michel nil, right? Beginning of the season, would we have expected such, you know, at least tactical masterclasses? Let's be honest. What did even Girona throw at us, right? They didn't even get to throw anything at us. The defense was, super compact. They didn't really allow any high percentage chances to even come our way. Um, I have to really give it out to Carlo and how much he has transformed the side over the course of the season. Yes, there might be games where we don't look as fluid, but I'm not sure. Like Jacob, can you walk me through what really could have been the reason we were just that extra um, clinical, especially with our passing in the final phase and combinations, you name it. Especially against other sides who play a slightly higher line, we have had days where things don't look exactly pretty, right? But from the get go, especially down our left side, with Vinny being the catalyst, we just look like we played the best game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have to give a lot of that credit to Vinicius because sometimes in other games he always gets worked up or gets distracted. But this game he was super focused, did not even have a single moment of weakness or like just giving the ball cheaply as we're used to seeing. And the crowd at the Bernabeu surely helped. And I think it's down to Vinny just how much dangerous we looked on the break and on that left flank.
100%. Vinicius really, I think, really outperformed my expectations tonight. I was having my gripes regarding his overall involvement, especially in games that we excelled, especially after the Super Copa Spania exploits. Obviously, where he scored a brilliant hat trick. He didn't really come back into rhythm in the perfect way, in my opinion. But yeah, this looks like a direction he is heading, where all of us are gonna really benefit from. Yeah, this end of the season business and winning. I'll go as far as to say that this is a sort of business and winning that we need to stand a chance in the Champions League. But the only dampener probably would be Jude Bellingham's slide knock. But we'll get into it. Starting with Vinny, Jacob, walk us through the first goal, right? The little dummy, drop of the shoulder, basically fooling two or three guys who are basically backpedaling, um, calculating as to what he would do. But and then he does, and absolutely thumps it into the bottom right of the net, and you wonder, right, when you see such moments of brilliance. We saw that against City last year. He has this in his locker, but why can't we get consistent glimpses of this?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe personally, I felt that Vinny's ball striking ability, that is a bit weird and different from most players. So, I
Hmm.
feel like he doesn't get the most consistent of kicks with that trying to curl the ball into the back of the net always. He doesn't have any other kind of shot in him, right? And or it's maybe a chip for him. So personally, I feel like that makes him unpredictable. And but when it does go in and when it does happen, it looks spectacular. And his long range ability, given some time and space, is like really dangerous.
100%. I was someone who was always of the notion that Vinny might be excellent in large parts with his close control dribbling and beating his man, and maybe putting away chances with a lot more precision inside the box. But from outside the box, the more I see some of his goals, especially the goal against Sevilla, comes to my mind as well. Um, like you just rightly pointed out, his ball striking ability really needs some bigging up, and yeah, that's one facet of his game that I think will only improve with time, right? Like the more he kind of attempts such takes on such shots, the more doubt opposition defenders are going to have in their minds regarding to what he's going to do. Like, is he going to lay it off? Is he going to have a pop? Um, Even his passing today, right? Like he was so good that I think he should deserve a 10 on 10, right? Like
Yeah,
he was involved in all goals,
yeah,
kept pressing from the front from the get go, was basically our talisman, right? Sometimes I used to think the number seven, would be too much of a burden. He's basically getting into his own head, right? But tonight, I think the demons were away.
yeah. And there were no demons at the Bernabeu in the first place. So
The
yeah,
only demons were us.
yeah, yeah. So that's the case. And Vinny had a spectacular game. Yeah, he did not put a single foot wrong, in my opinion, which is like very rare to see. And this is, hopefully, especially in the Champions League, we don't have to worry about the crowd really getting on the back of Vinny. So like, I feel like we can expect really good things from him for the rest of the season.
100%, 100%. Let me read a few of the comments before we. Can you read a few of the comments, Jacob? Let me just get to this message quickly from Mo.
Okay.
Um,
Dennis the Great says, I missed the game because I sadly had work. I heard Vinny's goal was a banger. Absolutely, man.
100%, 100%, 100%.
And Mo says, pressure of the Bernabeu told today. Great game. Yeah, whenever I see Girona, it's always a great game. And usually I feel like we're the only team who has the number on them this season. Even when they lost in other games, like they really brought the fight to the other teams. But for us, they have no answers.
Yeah,
And
100%.
Ashik says, this is Real Madrid. Madrid, not Barca or Atletico Madrid. Girona second lost this season to Real Madrid again. Absolutely, man. Uh, so, yeah. Milan says, this is why it's stupid to criticize Vinny when the big games come. He's always there. But no over exaggeration. Like he played like a 2008 United CR7 today. If Modric was here, was his father insane? Okay. Love the CR.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We kind of get carried away, especially me. Like I'll be honest, but I have always been vocal in pointing out that I take it game by game, and a post match is pertaining to that post match and that post match only, right? Like I don't carry over my feelings from game to game. Obviously, if it's bad, it's gonna be when it's positive, I'm a bit more reserved, and but when it's a recurrence of nagging themes, obviously like you will have me getting reminded of certain situations where Vinny could have been a bit more you know focused and his game more turned on in certain matches. But yeah, today was exceptional. Especially, some of his combinations with Jude Bellingham, with Rodrigo. Like, he was just the guy people look to, like what Jude Bellingham has been for large parts of the season. Vinicius was the guy who people came over from the right flank to the left to link up. That's how magnetic his whole aura was today. He just basically drive the team forward, and this is the sort of um, you know initiative. This is the sort of grabbing the game by the scruff of its neck performances we would want to be associated with Winnie. Because unless that's the case, we don't really stand a chance, especially in the bigger games this season, going forward. At least in the Champions League, because uh, I'm not sure, how long Jude is going to take to recover. That's another big blow for us, especially with the Champions League. In 2 days. But Jacob, like, do you think that ankle wrap that you saw, for me at least, it doesn't look good, right? Like, it should be at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm afraid like the replays on that horrible tackle, like it didn't show too much contact with Jude Bellingham. And whenever there's not enough, a lot of contact and players still go down, that's when it worries me and it makes me think that it's maybe a bit more serious than just a knock. So yeah, 2 weeks
Hmm.
seems to be around the time that we could maybe expect. I don't know. I don't want to think about that no, right now.
I know, right? Like, we have been just plagued by injuries left, right, and center, and add Rudiger, last weekend, and Jude Bellingham to this madness. It just doesn't sit right. And when we get to the business end of the season, like, we just get nervous, especially us as fans, right? Like, we try to. What's the beep, Jacob? Is that a beep on your end?
Yeah, I just lost power. I was hoping it would return, but I have no power.
Okay, we have 20 minutes, right?
Should be, yeah. But it's already been 10 minutes, I think. But
Right. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna fast track this in case we kind of. But yeah, man, like Vinicius, I think should be taking the mantle from Jude Bellingham if he doesn't return, especially away against Leipzig, and they're not an easy side to play against, not an easy place to go. He should be basically the guy that he was today against Leipzig as well. Um, but let's talk about Jude, man. Since we just kind of addressed his injury situation, Jude Bellingham has been you know having days where he can't really be the poster boy anymore. People said, yeah, this fall off is gonna happen, but what the casuals or the people who really don't watch his day week in week out didn't realize is that he completely had a different role, right? Like, he kind of was starting off of the left and had a much more deeper starting position in general. He didn't have as many late runs into the box as he used to when he was an out and out 10, or someone playing as a false nine. But very surprised by Carlos' decision to basically play a 4-3-3, at least at the beginning, um, with Jude as false nine, and very surprised by how well he kind of patched things up
yeah,
without
man.
being a striker. Mm.
Yeah, first of all, kudos to Ancelotti, like you said. Really a good decision to have him play up front here, just because Girona play, such a suicidal high line sometimes. And
Yeah,
if he could actually make it through the press, like it would be dangerous from the get go with Bellingham, Rodrigo, and Vinny all running into the box. So yeah, definitely a good tactical decision. And usually like we praise him for his midfield performance. Today we have to also like we're mainly praising him for his attacking contribution and goal.
100%. And the goal while playing through injury as well. I mean, it's not normal. you know, like, he can really be hobbling, but still have the desire to get on the end of things. It just is commendable what he does, and the finish, right? Like you mentioned, um, it's not an ordinary finish. It's a striker's finish again, right? Bottom right corner, timing of the run. Vinicius is obviously his brilliance to um, find the pass with the outside of his foot. It just goes to show that when our team switches on, they're just lethal, right? Like, did you expect that play to unfold in the way it unfolded? Um, it really should be pointed out that these guys have great synergy. Great synergy, like the BBC, like what Benzema and Cristiano used to have. Even without Mbappe, I think like if Bellingham steps this up, La Liga top scorer already. He really can do a job.
Yeah, that was the main idea of the match this time, right? Would Dobbik actually inch ahead of Bellingham?
Yeah,
And that was the main agenda going in. So that was
yeah,
exciting to see. Bellingham absolutely came on top. We absolutely silenced Dobbik, and yeah, he had such a great couple of goals. Like even the second goal that he scored, it was still
yeah.
a very striker's finish because he was following up, and that's something strikers do very, very well.
100%, man. Like I'm telling you, like even when people say that he is someone who has gotten accustomed to how he is basically a focal point, especially in finishing moves, it still doesn't still doesn't hit me as hard as when I see him put that in motion, right? Like after the game, I'm back to like, oh yeah, like he is basically someone who is plugging a gap and who is not exactly a striker. Like he has certain facets of his game which really resembles a striker, but he's not a striker. Like he's not going to save us every single time. But until that unfolds throughout the match, that's when I kind of deep it. Yes, again, and then I get my memories kind of get erased again like a fucking time loop. But that's Jude Bellingham's brilliance. Throughout this calendar, this calendar year, and even tail end of last year, like nobody expected him to be such a catalyst for basically giving us. Can you call this one hand of the on the trophy yet, Jacob? Is that a realistic assessment, or is it too early?
Yeah, definitely it's too early, but still, like you have to hope. All of the signs are pointing to the fact that we might have
Mm,
maybe a hand, maybe even one more. Considering
mm,
that if Barca and Girona, both of them, they still
yeah,
have very, very difficult games to go, and I feel like we have gotten through our most difficult patch, and
yeah,
we should have it easier for the rest of the season compared to those two.
100%. We have most of the games at home as well, which is going to be um, having a great say in where the title is headed. But quick question, Jacob. Is Jude better on the left or playing central?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the game. Sometimes, if he
Mm,
does play centrally in some games, wait. Not sure. I feel like centrally he can work against even teams who play a deep block because of his height and his
mhm,
runs. So
mhm.
yeah, definitely I like him more centrally. If he has to score goals, but if he's just covering and then being in our midfield, then I prefer him at midfield because he can protect that left flank so well, and he solves a lot of problems that we have been having. So
His two-way work rate is
yeah.
insane. Another guy who really played out of his skin. We should have really started. I really wanted to start with Kamavinga, but since we were late, I was kind of put off by how I had to fast track my memory again. But Kamavinga, bro, absolutely. Again, if Vinny was a 10, Kamavinga should be at least a 9.5, or a 9.7 at worst. The way he basically ran a midfield, Jude, yeah, obviously he has a great game every now and then. But Kamavinga, I think this is his peak. This is peak 2023-24 Kamavinga. Is the electricity back on?
Oh
Is it
yeah, it's
back on,
back on.
Jacob?
It is back
Okay.
on.
Okay.
I just saw something that Bellingham has suffered a
Right.
left ankle sprain, and I was
Okay.
just checking if it was real.
Okay. Okay. If it's a sprain, it makes me feel a bit better
Mm.
rather than like if it's a ligament tear or something. But yeah. Um, Kamavinga, Jacob, he has really, gone up a couple of levels this season, especially when he has been. I think it's more of a case of Carlo and his, staff basically relying on this guy's midfield capabilities a bit more. Like if I was a player, like I wouldn't play at the top level, but I've been in situations where, my captain or my coach, when they put trust in me for a role that I kind of know myself I'm more comfortable in, or I kind of excel in, that kind of, adds a little more leeway for, expressing yourself. And the way Kamavinga was basically playing behind Jude, at times with Jude, you know, as a strike partner, I couldn't believe my eyes. But he basically made all that happen on his own with his ball carrying was insane to watch. Like, what would be his percentage for ball progression this game?
A
Like,
lot,
it
man, a
would
lot.
it should be like in the 90th percentile, like attempted, ball carries or some, like, I'm just making up stats as I go, but basically, progressive runs is just insane from this kid, man. Like, yeah, the world is at his feet. Not gonna lie. Thoughts on Kamavinga, Jacob?
Yeah, absolutely huge game. I thought he was really good with his carries. Usually, the only gripe I have with Kamavinga in most day games, he's been brilliant all
Mm,
season. And in some games where
mm,
he hasn't really performed, it's because of his passing in the final third. I feel like
yeah.
today he had,
Even some erratic decision, especially happens with him with his passing in the first phase as well.
yeah,
I've noticed times in like right bang in the middle of the pitch, like even you could say the second phase, he kind of has a poor pass in him from time to time. But that's, in my opinion, only a blemish when we see performances like this.
yeah, he's absolutely magnificent on the ball. Uh, Today, I feel like he even took decent decisions, and that's why he's a close second to man of the match. Same for me as well. Uh, and yeah, he absolutely had very crucial blocks as well. He kept the midfield a lot of cover.
Mm, right, right. I just hope he can build on this, because this is going to give him a lot of confidence, especially playing against someone like Girona. It's going to be helping him out a lot, at least mentally. Um, because like me being in Kamavinga's shoes, like I'm just envisioning his thought process. Because the year he came in, he had to fight with KCM. Then it was Kroos and Modric, basically on a downward trend, but they still had so much more clout and trust from the coaching staff in general. But this year, in general, I'm sorry, I mean, last year he had trust, but it was kind of in a left back emergency position where he had to again reinvent himself, right? Um, but this year, when the chances has come, I think Camavinga has. Remember his assist against Las Palmas as well, away to Winnie was sublime stuff as well. The only thing I think Camavinga lacks in his overall arsenal is his shooting boots, right? I've seen, I haven't seen him score many goals. I still remember the banger he scored in his debut, right? But apart from that, like, have we seen many goals from Kamavinga? I don't think so, right? So that's the only aspect of his game that he needs to a bit more polish. But yeah, man, Kamavinga was sensational. Um, Another guy, since we are on Kamavinga, let's talk about Chouameni, right? His pivot partner, ideal pivot partner, future of France, France's pivot, basically. Him being in centre back, like, I've had my reservations regarding how well is he defensively, even more, like you guys discussed it in the preview as well. Like, he has kind of improved his overall defensive reading of games, but this game really surprised me. The amount of interceptions and clearances he had.
Yeah, he looked really solid, and many thought he would struggle against Dovbik. But
Mhm.
once we give him a bit of support, this is what Chouameni can do. He's always so calm, and when given a bit of time and space, like usually sometimes we see him make mistakes or let his man go. But this game, I feel like he had ironed out all of those mistakes and played an absolutely good game. He was really important playing out from the back as well.
100%, 100%. It just he was just oozing confidence. I like that when our players really take that extra step to express oneself. And Kamavinga is always one of those players who doesn't shy away from the out of the norm stuff. If I may say, like he never really always choose the easy option. He just looks for a better one, even if it's a little um, too difficult to execute. Yeah, man, Kamavinga uh, should be up there, like you said, behind Vinny as one of the top players on the pitch on the day. Um, let's talk about Rodrigo, right? Moving back into attack. He had like a 4 or 5 game run where he was kind of having a spell which didn't really work out for him. Even today, right, Jacob, we can all agree to the fact that he should have at least had a couple more assists to his name, right? What's up with his decision making? Like, I love Rodrigo. I love the goal. Like, we can talk about the goal in a bit. It was brilliant stuff, right? People just were petrified by the mere fact that he was just running at them, right? But what is happening to his final decision making in so many phases of the play, where Vinny was free on the left one time, and then his touch when he received the ball, I think, was it from Fede? They played a 1-2 at the edge of the box, and he kind of his touch kind of let him down. Um, is this a performance that answers a lot more questions than it doesn't? Like, what's your take on Rodrigo for the day?
I don't know if it's because these are the things that you mentioned, his decision making and his composure when he was finishing. That was his trademark. That was his differentiator, being a lot more younger. And now it seems that he has regressed a bit there. Maybe it's tiredness, maybe it's just playing too much, but I'm not sure it's that. We're not seeing that clinical version of Rodrigo yet. But today, at least, like we have to give him props for that goal. Many thought like he would just be taking the ball up and trying to just square it to one of the other attackers, but then he tricked everyone and then he just kept going, and then that finish was also very sublime because he did not have a lot of backlift to the ball. He just had to strike the ball really quickly, and he just made it work. So yeah,
Mm.
props for the goal, but overall, I feel like he should have been taking better decisions, considering that we know Rodrigo can actually do it, and I'm not sure if it's just a moment of playing too many games and being less sharp.
What was the last bit again? Did you really say that? Can you repeat that for me? Because your voice just broke up
Oh,
for a second.
yeah, I was just saying because he's been playing so many games, so maybe he's just too tired and
Yeah.
not that sharp.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay, I heard something else. Okay, fair. That's a valid point, but I really have high expectations of Rodrigo, and I really want my boy to be performing as good as Vinny. We all know Vinny is a step above Rodrigo in terms of pure skill. His overall game is much more refined, much more lethal, especially with the space. He's blessed with lethal pace that helps out anyone, right? But still, Rodrigo needs to kind of iron out some of his shortcomings. But the goal, the finish was pretty decent, right? Like he could have again. Players were brave. I have to really commend this. Players were really brave. He could have gone either side. It was 3-0 up already, but he just took the shot on, right? He knew that if we put enough power behind it, and if the placement was right, Gazaniga is not gonna stand a chance. And we have to see more of this. I'm telling you, he has 13 goals or 14 goals this season already in all competitions. That's a good return in Feb, right? Add 7, 8, 10 crucial goals all across Europe and La Liga, we might be looking at pretty decent Rodrigo, pretty decent Rodrigo season where he had to share the spotlight with Jude, with Resurgent Brahim, right, with Vinny. I think the calls for he should be sold is a bit premature. Like I don't like. Have you read some of the rumors that Rodrigo might be the guy to be chopped when Mbappe comes? Like I really need to find those guys' cell numbers or addresses, and really have a one-on-one with them, because I need to know what kind of money they get to spew such bullshit, if there is any truth to it. But yeah, man. Rodrigo really had a um, much needed, breather this game, especially with his goal. I mean, you could just see how much it meant to him. It's a release, especially if it's a forward who has been having an on and off season. It really released some uh, pressure off his back basically. But we touched upon Vinny, Kama, Bellingham, Rodrigo, Tony Cruz. We do this every week. You know, completed basically, I think, all of his long balls right throughout the game. Never missed a beat. His composure immaculate. We just know what we get on the menu with Cruz. Do you have anything to add on Ferry and Cruz? Because I have run out of adjectives, for these guys, man. It's just I think they are the backbone of what we do. Basically, they provide us the platform to excel.
Yeah, without these guys, I don't think we'll be in this position in February. They've been huge all
Mm.
season. Cruz for me today, apart from being doing the usual things like spraying long balls, staying deep,
Yeah,
I feel like he had a more advanced
yeah.
role sometimes too, especially in the first half. He was going forward a lot more, and I feel like his passing map should have been all over the map. He was really good today. Fede as well. He helped a lot in his ball carrying. I think he basically assisted Vinny's first goal. I mean, if you can call it an assist. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, he had a very decent game as well, man. Huge double pivot for
A
us.
huge block. I remember, like in the first half. Who was it from?
I think it was
Was
Dobbik,
it
right?
from Alex Garcia?
Alex Garcia.
Was it
Yeah,
Dobbik? Where Dobbik like took two touches to basically go around the man, and he
yeah.
had a last touch block. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fede, you just know what you get from Fede, man. Um, I was someone that I remember, me, it's like me and Mo having a go at each other. When I said his short range passing needs some polish, he has to be a bit more neater in tight spaces. I think he has really you know over excelled his the expectations from fans as well. The way he basically knows when to take on a man, right? When to go past a man, when to lay it off, when to stay back, right? It's such a genius when players just know how to read danger, how to anticipate an opportunity. That's just sets the, in my opinion, sets the your average. Okay, yeah, he is good kind of a midfielder from the absolutely world class ones, because you could have all the technique, all the uh, mental sturdiness to your overall game, but in the heat of the moment, we have all been there. Even during a game of FIFA, we just lose it, right? So imagine these guys who has to do this week in week out in situations where one bad decision, one bad judgment of a phase of play can really cost you. I have to really say that if we go on and actually win the 15th Champions League, like what Fede wants, with this number on the back, like what he wanted last year, I think he has to lift the trophy right after Danny. I mean, right after Nacho, obviously. Because this guy basically has been our anchor, a linchpin at the base of our midfield, man. But yeah, who else should we talk about? Lucas Vasquez, steady Eddie, not as bright as against Atleti. You really can't go wrong with his delivery, can you? Right? Like even his poor crosses land in very dangerous situations. I just don't get it. Like he just has a cheat code, in his right foot, where he just knows uh, what trajectory to put on, what spin to put on the ball. Probably it's because he was a winger, right? Like that makes sense. But still, how happy were you with Lucas Vasquez? Again stepping in, doing a job.
Yeah, man. We all know his crosses have been always good. He
Mm.
certainly put in a lot of dangerous crosses. And but apart from that, I feel like his combination play along with Rodrigo and Fede on the
Yeah,
right hand side, it's always
yeah.
good to watch, and he never disappoints there as well. And today the difference was he actually did very decently in defense too. Absolutely, along with Mendy, I feel like they both shut up the flanks.
Mm. Jan Koto. obviously with Mendy, didn't have a chance as well. Like had a horrible game. How many goals did he cost?
I think all
Girona
four.
three,
I think all four.
all four. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Insane.
at
Insane.
least he had like a first-hand view of the first goal too. You
It
couldn't
could, it
really
could have
fault him.
been five, right? Did
Yeah.
did he make the foul
Yeah.
on Arda as well?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Remember fine.
Like I read before the game that we will be keeping a close eye on Jan Koto. Maybe he follows Madrid Extra as well. It might have gotten into his psyche. I couldn't believe my eyes because I was always very keen on mentioning that I love him going forward, but I'm kind of not too keen on his defensive aspects, and that was in the spotlight, man. I felt for him, even though he has a goofy ass pink hair. You could feel for the man that nothing was really going his way. But yeah, Mendy again, very steady, very very steady performance. The only thing that I would like to point out is that maybe it's a lack of belief from Vinny, but he doesn't combine with his wing back, man. Like, is it a Mendy problem? Because he doesn't come back. He doesn't combine with Fran as well, right? Like, so I don't get it. Like, there's been so many instances where Mendy is kind of an outlet, and he rarely even looks his way.
Yeah, I feel like
What's your thoughts on?
well, these guys, I feel like whenever these guys have good combination play, it's when Mendy drifts centrally and Vinny's out wide. If it's the other way, like
Mm,
most cases, I feel like Vinny just doesn't look for that pass. He would rather just try to dribble it in.
mm,
So which is
yeah.
why both of our overlapping fullbacks, like they can't really combine with Vinny.
Mm, mm, mm. Do you reckon if it was Marcelo, it would be a different case?
Have you seen Marcelo and Vinny play? I feel like, yeah, I do remember a couple of goals, but then nothing too spectacular because at that point Marcelo had already lost his place in the team.
Yeah, yeah. Who else should be cast a spotlight upon next? Pavel again, pretty decent. We know he can do a role at centre back. Was I think very adept in winning his aerial battles as well. I've always mentioned for someone that small in size, I'm surprised every time by his leap. It's really really pleasing to watch. But I just hope this is not a centre back pairing. Come mid March, a month from now, because it's gonna be peak if that's the case. Lonin, decent
Yeah,
again.
I don't feel like he had a lot to do compared to the
Mm,
athletic game or whatever, but yeah,
yeah.
did his job well. He was always reassuring. Uh, Nothing too bad.
His passing out of the back was also was pretty good in my opinion. I remember like the amount of times he had just that extra touch that took a couple of players of Girona out of the game completely by his passing. Yeah, man. The more I watch Lonin, the more I fall in love with him, and I just pray to God that yeah, he just keeps this up, at least until Thibaut comes back to full fitness and he gets his due flowers. Lunin should absolutely get his due flowers towards the end of the season. Um, right, the subs. Arda Guller. Let's talk about Arda Guller. Jacob, how was his performance in your opinion? He was bright. The game was done, right? Like everybody just wanted to go home. Girona wished they they were back on their team bus, but he came on, put on a show.
Yeah, he had a couple of decent passes, kept the possession, and that run to win the penalty was also really great. Feel
Yeah,
like maybe on first glance he went down a bit too easily, but then there in the second replay I saw that there was actually
the
some contact.
contact was real. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, a great dribble. I wish Joselu had actually backed the goal, but it was still fun to see Arthur going over to Joselu and then comforting him for having missed the penalty.
But before he took the goal, did you see
He was discussing
like a
something with
shot
Germany.
of? Was it, yeah? Like he was saying like Uno or something. Like maybe is it um is it him basically asking for the pen? I'm not sure. I'm not
I'm not
sure.
sure. I don't know. I
I
don't think he
felt
was looking
that
at
by their
Joselu.
body language.
Was he speaking to
Okay.
Joselu with that? I feel like he was
No, no,
just.
no.
chatting
No,
with Chouameni.
The
Yeah,
Chouameni shot where he just has this, he's just pointing one or numero uno
I mean, I
with
wouldn't
his
fault the kid too.
index
Like,
finger.
if he actually won the penalty, like he has every right to actually
Yeah,
take request it at
yeah,
least. Yeah,
yeah. I think he was just saying, "Man, this is my one chance. Let me get a goal for the season." Right? Like probably that would have been the dialogue, which would be completely, like you said, completely normal, completely natural. Like I would have really, like, I really wanted him to take the pen. We know that Hoselu is the striker. It would really, um, give him some confidence, and all that stuff. But yeah, like I'll be honest, even if Hoselu scored that, I would be still saying that.
Mhm.
Hoselu scoring or not scoring didn't really matter on the night. It was done and dusted. But it was funny him hitting the post. It's just super unlucky for him. Who else came off the bench? Modric. Did he have much of a say?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, did his role really well, man. He was right at the center, going a bit
Mm,
forward too, because basically at that point we had won the game. So he had a lot of freedom to roam around, keep possession. Nothing too special though. But he came and did his cruise role very well.
mm, yeah, yeah. Are we missing someone from the subs? Jacob, help me out.
Joselu,
No,
this
right?
guy, no, yeah, very good. Fran, I
We're good,
guess
right?
Fran had a
Yeah,
decent
Fran.
game. You could say,
Expected.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
He didn't have a lot
When
of
the
time,
game is
but
done and dust,
yeah.
yeah. He looks bright. When there is space, Fran just always looks bright. But yeah, couldn't be again. Like I said towards the start, man, couldn't be happier. Um, do want to read a few of the comments. We were in the rush to kind of get this over, but I'll. Can you tell me where did you stop, Jacob, by any chance?
I think it was right before Doris's comment, which is just a heart. Maybe you can start from Hassan.
Go on.
Okay, Hassan says, "What a game! Madrid TV's here." He says, "A dominant performance from us." Uh,
Bigger Metro TV.
yeah, Vertical says it's a statement game, and Hassan says,
100%.
"Where is the energy? You two are too calm."
Yeah, yeah. I know. Today, I think we have to approach the game with a bit more level-headed energy. I think it might be the score. The 4-0 score kind of takes a bit of maybe takes, at least for me, it took a bit of the excitement away. I'm not gonna dampen you guys' mood, man. I'm over the moon. You just can't tell it through the camera, right? If this was augmented reality, it would be different, right, Jacob? No, like at least
Definitely,
I know that for a fact. But
definitely. Like, yeah, but
yeah,
I'm grateful for not having like a 4-3 game or like a comeback for
mm,
once.
yeah, 100%, 100%. We didn't have to sweat it. Yeah, yeah. Um, Ashik was saying, let's be real, guys. Girona ain't no Real Madrid, man. We have a combined squad worth of like 300, 400, 500 million. They have a squad of 60 million. We have to give Girona credit. Absolutely. Like I'm not going to take anything away from their season. Um, also was mentioning Jan Koto got barbecued, boiled, fried, grilled. Shish kebab. He's going to be traumatized. Poor guy. El Merengue boy was mentioning Hello, Madrid. Homies, excellent performance from the entire team. God bless Don Carlos. Life is good. Meet me at the Los Blancos bar in football heaven. Tequila shots on me. Okay. I'm not gonna be, I think we are gonna be satisfied with a couple of tequila shots. It has to be, there has to be a whole, yeah, it has to be a whole, night out basically. Milan says, Kamavinga with also a crazy performance, insane from him today. Big up Milan, 100%. Um, Ashik was saying the team showed awareness of our shortcomings in defense and made collective effort to protect the defensive line. Everyone priced in. Yeah. You could just see, right, from the get go, like they knew they had to protect Carvajal and Chouameni. And I think they pulled it off, man. It's not going to happen against the elite sides, but yeah, for today, the plan was on
Yeah,
point.
this is always
Um,
funny to me, right? Because remember
mm,
back when we lost Courtois and then Lunin came in, and then that's when Rudiger absolutely started playing out of his skin because he knew if he
yeah,
let a chance through, it would probably be a goal.
yeah,
Pretty much the same case when the team knows, oh shit, if we do something shitty and then it's immediately going to be a goal. They all chipped
yeah.
in, and I just wish we could see more of this in the bigger games without
With
us.
Farooq, if
Yeah.
Farooq was, he would be like, yeah, that's it, man. That's it. That's the only thing that happened today. Like Carlo wouldn't really have anything to do with that. It was just the players basically taking accountability and protecting their homies, right? But yeah, man, big up Farooq, big up Farooq. He wouldn't be too harsh on Carlo today. I know that for a fact, especially with how our performance was. Milan was saying he has 19 goals and assists in 18 full 90s. Lol, so far he is the most effective number 7 outside of Cristiano. So number 7 is obviously not heavy for him. I'm just going by, some of his earlier tantrums, his outbursts, his, pettiness in general. You know, um, and I'm pretty sure I had a fair argument for why I did think of it at that time. At that time, it was just a couple of weeks ago. But still, for today, he just didn't really. Get rattled or get distracted. Um, Ashik was saying good showing from Mendy on both games. We needed discipline at the back. He brings that occasional urge to be cavalier with life like James Bond maneuvers. I think 100%. Um, yeah, Marcus Benningham. He was saying never try to face Real Madrid in a must-win game for them. You'll end up being humiliated. Probably, I think the narrative surrounding the game where people said Girona might give Real Madrid a reality check and stuff like that might have played on the players' minds, and it might have given them that extra hunger, extra that extra little bit of minerals to push them forth for such a performance. But yeah, man, I just hope they just don't let their guard down in Leipzig because not asking for much. Even if it's a 1-0, I'll take it and run. Right, like we just don't want any major injuries or don't want any surprising results. Even a draw would make me think, why are we sweating it against Leipzig? No disrespect to Leipzig, they are a very good footballing side. But yeah, we'll have to be wary of especially guys like Sesko with our centre back, lineup up in the air. It's gonna be peak. But yeah, man, look out for the Leipzig preview. Hopefully Monday 1 p.m. EST. Jacob will be here. Mo will be here. We'll be having a guest from Australia as well, Justin, uh, who runs the Leipzig podcast. Yeah, man. But love for the love and big up the people in the chat. Big up people who has been sending us feedback over from our audio platforms as well. Like it's like I always say, it's a truly humbling experience. The ad read, Jacob, we completely forgot about it. I think it's about time we play what Doris cooked for Super Bowl, which is gonna be happening tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, big up Doris, big up Manscaped.
It's time to talk about Manscaped again. So, ever since we started this podcast, you guys asked us how you can help us out and support us. Well, we are happy to announce that we've been sponsored by Manscaped, and it just so happens that the Super Bowl is happening this weekend, and Manscaped is here to bring you the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The absolute goat, of grooming and precision trimming, and you can get yourself a good little discount from manscaped.com if you use our code LBR20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. So in this Beard Hedger Pro Kit, you get everything you need to create your own signature look, and especially do it with ease. You get the Beard Hedger, which is a cordless trimmer that is also waterproof, so you can just shave in the shower. There's no mess. It is high precision, and you get one guard that has 20 adjustable lengths, so you don't need 20 different guards. You can just have one guard that is adjustable to 20 different lengths for high precision shaving. And in the kit you get also a bunch of things. You get like a beard balm, you get beard oil, shampoo, conditioner, you get a beard brush, you get beard scissors, you get a comb, you get a bunch of things. So definitely check out Manscaped. And of course, what better time to do it than now, especially as the Super Bowl is coming up and you want to look fresh for the ladies, especially if you're going out on that day. And definitely go and check out manscaped.com. Use code LBR20 at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. That's LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring us, and back to the video.
Big up Doris. Big up Manscaped. You heard the woman, man. This is the perfect excuse. Again, people have always asked us, like, how can we support the channel? How can we, give back to what you guys have been doing? And this is the perfect excuse. And Valentine's Day is around the corner. Um, you can basically, browse their catalog. I've always reiterated that some of their, um, front facing products are a bit more steeply priced, but don't be fooled. There are a lot of stuff that is below 50 euros, 50 pounds, $50, which I'm telling you, which can go a long way in basically showing us love, showing us some love, and showing Manscaped some love as well. um yeah, man, they have everything from loungewear to deodorants, hair wax, beard wax. They have the new beard hedger as well, state of the art beard trimmer, like what Doris spoke about. Yeah, man, you guys should totally go check them out. Again, I'm going to repeat, the code is LBR20. LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping on all Manscaped products. They ship to almost 95% of the globe as well. Yeah, man, big up our partners, Real Medical Committee. They're on a brilliant fan page over at Instagram. Go check them out. They've been with us basically from day one. Show them some love. We had to kind of fast track this, maybe cut the post match by 30 minutes, but bear with us, people. We are kind of in a rush for today, but we'll be back hopefully Monday, 1 p.m. EST, our usual preview slot for the Champions League preview. It's going to be a big one. Hopefully, we have positive things to talk about on Tuesday as well, especially surrounding what Jude Bellingham's um return date and even Rudiger's return date is looking like. The squad is gonna take some really good vibes, really good really good stuff from the game that just happened, one of the best games of our season. But everybody would agree with it. And yeah, man, let's build on this, and let's look forward to something special now that La Liga is kind of getting to a place where we can relax a bit, not take the foot off the gas yet, but have some self assurance that we can probably win it. Champions League should be what we should be going out all out from. I think Carlo and the boys know it all too well. But yeah, man, big up Jacob again. Big up the people in the chat again. Until next time, people. Ala Madrid.
La Madrid.